I think that might be Maria trying to get in because the EV Classics are supposed to use Zoom Room 2. And all the rest of us are supposed to be using this one.
Mm-hmm.
So let me communicate with Maria. I'll let you guys get started and I'm going to mute myself so I can communicate with Maria because that's going to be another problem at noon. Okay, I'll let you guys get started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've sent a lot of emails too.
Okay. All right, let me share our slide here. And okay, hi everyone. Welcome to TESOL Virtual Conference Call IS Virtual Worlds for ELT panel. We're so excited that everyone is here. And my name is Jane, and I'll be serving as moderator to help answer the questions. In today's session, our panelists will be talking about different virtual worlds for English language teaching and learning. I am very pleased to introduce our presenters. Dr. Randall Sandler, Dr. Jeff Kuhn, Dr. Aaron Shorts, Vance Stevens, and I'm sorry, Laura Briggs, because of personal issues, won't be joining us today. Okay, we'll start with Dr. Randall Sadler, is the director of TESOL and ESL at University of Illinois. He teaches courses on CAL and teaching L2 reading and writing. His book include Virtual Worlds, Telecollaboration in Language Learning, Handbook of Informational Language Learning, and New Ways in Teaching with Games. Let's welcome Dr. Sadler. Woo! It's our honor to have you here.
Hands. So how long would you like me to talk, given we started late? Mine is totally flexible because I'm just doing a show and tell.
Okay, 10 minutes, right?
Go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're good on time.
I'll 10 minutes or less. I'm starting my timer. So hopefully I have the ability to share screens. It looks like I do. As I mentioned in the emails, I thought I would just do a show and tell because I saw some other people had some awesome slides that covered information very well. Many of you are already familiar with this, but in case some are not, this is the virtual world called Second Life, which is historically one of the ones that's had the most users. Way back, it was going to be the future and amazing and huge. And then, of course, the popularity declined. But there is still a number of educators using it. And I think there are some reasons for that. Partially because this virtual world gives you the ability to build things pretty easily. In fact, everything you see in this virtual world, with a very few exceptions, has been built by users rather than the company. So here we are on a couple islands called Edunation. I own Edunation 3, and Heike, who I think I saw here in the audience, is the owner of Edunation 1, which is the one we're facing now. And both of these islands, not surprisingly, are focused on education. How can we use virtual worlds mostly for language learning? English in a lot of cases here, but we have teachers who are focused on French and German and Japanese and other languages as well. So how do we do that? Well, for me, my island is more tropical, you can see, because I redesigned it in winter and I felt cold. So what we've set up on the islands are a number of spaces. Some of these spaces are just for students and teachers or groups to meet. I also host on Second Life for a long time, and they focus on informal language learning. Groups get together regularly just to chat in whatever language they want to practice. Sometimes they're led by a native speaker of that language, sometimes by other learners of the language, but they just get together and they talk about different things in the language for naturalistic language practice, as natural as you can get in a virtual world, at least. Let's go to a couple other spots that I've used in here. So we're going to go up now to a spot that I built not too long ago called the Sky Gallery. So we're up here above Edunation at about 1,800 meters. And there's another user on Edunation who's really into art. And she wanted to have a place where we could do art exhibits. So I built this gallery, and we've had several exhibits in here already. This one is My Grease, My Cats, not kitchen grease, the country grease. And as you can see, it's photography and other artwork focused on, shockingly, Greece and cats. But up above, and again, picture how you could use this for language learners. The discussion centered around art is fantastic. So if we go up to level 2, there's a French artist who's set up a display on this floor, which is really wonderful. Patrick Moya is his name. And he does these cool 3D art exhibits. His avatar, Moya, is in every one of them in some form or another, but he has his own island that's full of art too. But imagine again, bringing students in, discussing this art, maybe later creating their own art, which they can do in a virtual world like this. So let me go to one more floor and then we'll skip to some other stuff. So here, actually, let me see, there's level 3. I meant to go to level 4. I just put some more classic art on this floor. Honestly, because I created this with 4 floors and one of them was empty and I needed to fill it with some more art and some photography of mine taken in Japan. I won't claim it's great photography, but there it is. And if we go up to the 4th floor, again, more 3-dimensional sculpture and a spot for dance parties because, you got to have dance parties. So there's a space that we've used, and you can imagine the kind of assignments you could do with students in a space like that. Let me pop over to some other spaces here. Here's a spot actually that I created for a PhD student from Turkey that I was working with. She wanted a space where she could have groups of her students meet to practice language in different ways. Those of you who have used Second Life before, especially in the past, as you know, sometimes it's been a bit clunky in Second Life. If you want students to do things, the learning curve's a little high. They've changed some things relatively recently where they have now something called Second Life experiences that make things much more automatic, which is great for teaching. In the past, if I wanted students to put on a HUD, a heads-up display, I'd put it in a box. They would get the box. They'd take the box out of their inventory and open it, and they'd get a folder. Then they have to find the folder, and then they have to drag it on. What Second Life experiences allow you to do, though, is I'm going to walk through this box to get myself some HUDs. And when I do, I did not test this. Please work. Uh-oh, come on. There they are. Okay. Woo. So it gives me on my screen some HUDs that I created for this student, because one of the challenges in virtual environments is how do you engage in some of the more nonverbal communication. So this gives them some nice emojis that can pop over their head and automatically disappear after just a bit. Other nonverbal communication like no or clapping, all that kind of jazz, right? So just ways that you